Welcome to the Lockdown Economy, a social, nonprofit initiative by think tank AlterContacts to help small businesses and self-employed professionals overcome the challenges of the pandemic and reactivate the economy. Good morning, everyone, or good day, wherever you are located. My name is Maisa Sarkis, and as you know, I interview businesses from around the world. This time, it will be in Toronto, Canada. My guest's name is Malak Sharaf. She's originally from Egypt, and she worked in the GCC and the Middle East world. And then many years back, she left the corporate world and decided to go on a venture. She had a degree in engineer in communication and electronics, and of course, that was challenging, and there were many stops to her to become where she is today, a yoga teacher. So finally, she listened to her inner voice and ventured into taking the 200 hours of yoga space to become a yoga teacher. And now she founded Malak Sharaf Movement. Hello, Malak. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Mariam. How are you? How am I? How are you?
I'm doing great, and it's a pleasure to have you today as a guest for the Lockdown Economy interview series.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy and excited to be here.
And for me, it was as well a pleasure, especially when I knew your career shift and the story behind that. So it's very inspiring for someone who comes from a corporate life and who's always worked in a behind coding, I think, and trying to create new solutions to become to just become someone different, working on movements, body movements, practicing breathing, which is a completely different world. So tell us, what do you do as a business and how long have you been doing this business?
So, as you said, I teach a mixture of yoga, Pilates, Sabah, restorative yoga. I started this journey back in 2017 when I signed up for the yoga teacher training, and then 2018, 2019. I started the business officially, like registered my business was end of 2019 when I started on taking on clients myself and teaching at various studios around the city. And yeah, so my business between teaching at studios, private clients, and now I teach online.
Well, that is interesting. We're gonna just talk about this in a bit, how you started teaching online. So what interested me is that you mentioned that in 2019, you started picking up your business to become an entrepreneur and have your own teaching with several stakeholders and partners of studios, as you mentioned. And then things happen. But before that, tell me about your customers. What were their profile and whom were you giving your techniques and trying to give them part of serenity and the yoga teaching?
So my clients really vary. They mostly women from various ages, like my age, younger, older. Of course, they're like small percentage of men, which is normal. And yeah, they're all like they. Everyone loves moving. They're coming to like feel good, to improve their breathing. It was all in-person experience at different studios around the city, east, west. Some working at corporate, some were just like teachers, a lot of teachers, and as well pregnant women, because I do as well pre and postnatal. I teach pre and postnatal. So like the normal, just women coming together and moving and making very nice connections, because you meet a lot of women who did the same thing. They changed their careers, so there is like usually those small chats after a class or before a class, or yeah, you talked about this, or you mentioned that you're an engineer, because I can't count. So I always joke around and say I can't count, even though I'm an engineer. It's true. So yeah, that's basically like my client base is women from different ages
And
and
yeah.
to feel good and move. Yes.
So these women and or the profile of your clients from mixed gender with the concentration of female, uh, they relied on maybe you were offering three things: wellness, health, and movement. And when we stepped back from 8 months ago, the lockdown happened, and I'm sure Canada and Toronto had a piece in that, and they were affected by the COVID, the pandemic, and this might have changed a lot of plans. So tell me, how did the lockdown affect your business? Did you have challenges, and what were the challenges that you had to overcome and solve?
So yeah, Toronto had it, like Canada, of course, had its share. We were delayed, and we had a lighter share than Europe and America, thank God. But we had in March, exactly, I remember it was March 16 when we started our lockdown, and we stayed. We closed for, I guess, 2 weeks. It started with 2 weeks, then a month, then it went all summer till August. I lost, so at the beginning, after probably 3 weeks in or 4 weeks in the pandemic, I lost a couple of studios who had to close forever because they were small boutique studios run by women as well, and the rents are high in Toronto. So they had to close because they cannot keep up and pay the rent if there are no members coming in. At the beginning of the pandemic, I didn't teach online. I said, okay, we're going to take a break. I'm going to take a break, and I'm just going to practice for myself. Like there is, because at the time there was so much online offering on Instagram, on Facebook, everything was free, except with the exception of a couple of studios who flipped to online but kept the members to pay less than what they used to pay for the in-person. But for me, I said, okay, fine, this is a break. I didn't know how long we were going to stay home, so I said, I'm just going to focus on my own practice and let's see what's up and take a holiday. And then a month in, and I had, especially that studios are closing, so I lost half of my studios. So that got me thinking, okay, I've been thinking of teaching online. I met teachers who were teaching online and they loved it, and they were saying, it has its perks. So I have to admit that it was COVID that pushed me finally to, okay, let's take the step and teach online. And I joined the wagon, and I started teaching live on Instagram 3 times a week for free to see like what's happening, if people, and I started having like first 1, 2 people, a couple of friends, and then I started having 5, 6 with like, this online on Instagram, because I was doing like Pilates, bar and Pilates fusion, restorative. So I was offering everything I can do. And then we stayed closed till August. I kept doing the online, and then I stopped for a bit, like everything mellowed down, like not the same motivation levels. And summer started, and we started teaching at the park and so on. So instead of doing online, I transferred to teaching at the park 3 times a week. But the thing is, as I mentioned, some studios were offering their online for free. Some were offering for money, and you were stuck in between. You don't know. I'm not a big studio. I'm just by myself. So how do I charge? How much can I charge? We're all staying home, not working, except certain people, like the corporate people, were still working from home, the 9 to 5, which helped because I was offering the lunch hour classes, so that like in their lunch hour they can do the classes. But there was a challenge of, okay, I have friends, I have other members, but they're not making money. Okay, let's do pay what you can, or trade. Let's trade. I'm willing, like cook, I teach, get me some, I teach. Like it got me really creative, and at the same time thinking about like we're all in the same boat. We're all not working. We're all not making any money, so we have to help. But you were left as well with the same thing. But I need to pay my bill. So like so there was that, struggle. And then we went back to teaching in August, but only only one studio like that was left for me that was able to open again and teach. So really the pandemic had an effect of negative, that I lost studios and a lot of businesses have closed. So that really affected my income for 2020. But the other thing is, it gave me the push to start online and build the presence and have people. And there was challenges as well to get the people. Okay, we're transferring from Instagram to Zoom. people don't like Zoom, they don't want to do accounts, they don't want to open, and then it glitches, and there was like a lot of hassle to get the people to commit for the online. And like one extra step, yeah, a Zoom account, no, it's free, like just do it, like doing some tech support to get the people to practice. So there was like, yeah, the struggle between this and that, but it has its perks. I don't deny that teaching from home has great perks. You don't deal with traffic, you're not running around from this studio to this studio, you set your own hours. So the perks are great, especially for someone who has kids or whatever, so you can actually run your business and take care of your kids or merge them with you. That's good. But and yeah, so now one studio, but as I mentioned, we are in a total lockdown from Boxing Day for the duration of 28 days. So now I'm going to focus on online offering so that we can all stay moving and keep moving, mental health. But the in-person connection, when we got back in August, I can tell you that everyone was so excited to come back to practice at the studio and just see people. Of course, we had to minimize the numbers that are available, that the numbers of the class. Like we used to have 20 people in class, now it's only 10, to keep the spacing, and we increase the timing between cleaning between classes so that we make sure it's all clean. So there was like added tasks that we have to do in order to keep it all safe and sound for everyone, the teacher and the student, but it was worth it so that we have the in-person touch again and teach. So it has its challenges, but overall the virtual bit is very good because it's coming. Like if like I know that for some people transferring to online was very difficult, but either way the online is happening. It was going to happen in 20 years, now it just happened now thanks to COVID, that it just happened now.
Basically what I've heard as well from many people, and also you're emphasizing on this, that COVID has accelerated unintentionally the familiarity with being digital in the virtual world, and getting familiar with the social channels that whether small businesses or other businesses were not used to, are now embracing that. And also clients who want these services are teaching themselves how to go online, how to benefit from the services, and maintain the precautions. So we keep the social distance and try to cope in this uncertainty and deal with the pandemic. And what you highlighted during the discussion, what caught my attention, is that you said it was hard and you had to go into the technical bit to try to tell your customers, look, you prepared like a kit for them to move them to class. So I want to ask, how did you try to stimulate your online business and your teaching to reach their segment, since you were maybe known by the clients who come to the studio? And you already opened in 2019, so it was still, the business was picking up, and it was either an advantage for you to also create this brand awareness about what you do in the social world via the media. So tell me, how did you try to stimulate the business and attract the customers in that period?
So basically it was easier when I was doing the live on Instagram for free. That was like, yeah, and it like people, and it's easier on Instagram because you have like people that come and go. The tracking on Instagram was kind of like, what's the word, it was kind of tricky because you see people coming and watching, and you have a lot of watching or viewers, and then it's not like, you're not really sure. But when I flipped to Zoom, and then I saw how many people came to, like, for my own thing, that showed the reality of like, maybe I had like 30 viewers or 100 viewers or 200 viewers for my video or for my live, but actually the people who came to the virtual were like 5, 2, 3, 1. So then that shows you. I started working with a marketing and strategy company at the end, at the end of 2020, because from April of 2020 when I started teaching live on Instagram. And then the holy month came, Ramadan, so I took a break and then started with the park. The people online are different from the park people. That was my neighborhood, for example. So in order to get customers, I used Facebook groups of the neighborhood. I stapled flyers on in the park area on the street so that people can come to my classes. So there was a hustle and a struggle, and there was like trying to get customers or like members from anywhere. After I finished the park season, now I have to build up the virtual again. So this is when I teamed up with this marketing agency so that we can stimulate customers. I can stimulate interest through Facebook and Instagram. And it's not easy to bring customers. Like you have to offer a lot of free. So like my first class is free. I'm doing this Facebook group where I go live every week. The test will be for what's coming up because I'm launching a fitness program in January because I did it on myself during the pandemic when like I stopped practicing and then built up the practice again and taking from 0 pounds weight to 5 and 10 pounds. So I said, yeah, let's do this fitness program. I tested it on myself. So now we'll see. It's launching in January. I'm very excited. It's geared towards women to build a habit and practice and so on. And this is why as well I teamed with a marketing agency. So really, in order to stimulate and bring clients, there is not one formula. You have to use every idea you have. We have to provide value so that people can know what you can do. Are you good? Are you worth it? Like what's happening? That's why the Instagram lives really helped to give me exposure. So people can see not only at the studio, but people can see from anywhere, like friends, family, friends of friends or wherever, what you can offer and what you can do. And there is a lot of like word of mouth, like friends who referred me to a friend or whatever. But it's not an easy ride, especially that everyone now is teaching online, and we have big studios who are offering for peanuts.
Mhm.
So the competition here is very difficult, and you have to keep going and not to give up, which is easy to give up, but ups and downs will happen. That's what I'm gonna say. Like just keep going.
Yeah, for sure. Well, having to deal with all the changes and also shifting a business model that in I think many years ago we never thought that physical activity and exercise would move to a virtual reality, and just for us to embrace and have this mindset, it needs some push and a community around us to create this awareness and to help to encourage us. Yes, you can still practice what you used to love, but the platform and the environment has changed, and that's okay because
Yeah.
we are going to live somehow. We introduce the digital world to our life,
Yes.
and it's no harm if we try to benefit for our sane and mindfulness and health, to maintain our health while we are working or living from home, just to continue do what we love and our hobbies. Just
Yeah.
the tools have changed, and you tried to figure out the best tools and teaming up to figure out to execute your strategy with marketing department and create communications and brand awareness won't come easy for the user to realize, and the client who loves yoga, that there is a platform for him. These are this is what you're offering, and you can still, if they resonate to what you are bringing to them, okay, let's try and give it a try. And I think that we have maybe many years doubted that would happen, but now,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, we are there.
Yeah.
And moving forward, I'm sure that we learn, as you said, and even if we fail, I cannot call them failure, it's trials to perfect or what works best for the businesses that we are trying to build. And I
Yeah.
wish you all the best in that endeavor. So
Thank you.
um, speaking, you mentioned a little bit about the competition and how they are doing. Do you have do you meet? Do you have contacts? Do you work in communities together? Tell me a little bit about this area and how your customers are engaged with the synergies and collaborations that are happening.
So basically, we have like there is a lot of talk between us teachers. Like I have friends, of course, and some of us like teamed up and made a platform to teach online from it. Like some teachers and the students, they're doing this, and some we do like we're working on having some hosting some lives so we can talk about our experience and how we're doing it. There are a lot of studios actually teamed up as well to discuss the effect of the lockdown and how can they work with the government in order to keep it, how to stay open and how to save the whole industry. On the online, when you look at the small scale, like teachers like me, we're all doing the same thing. We're all promoting our classes, we're all hustling, and we're all trying to keep it as affordable as possible for our clients or members or so on. The competition comes or the struggle comes from big studios who offer you a month for $10 with a variety of classes a day. And then you come and you look at your offering, it's like 4 or 5 classes a week, but by yourself, but you're not charging $10. But basically, between teachers or what I'm seeing between us and how we're working with the clients, we're all offering like pay what you can. This is free, we can trade or monthly subscriptions. And I have to tell you, there are clients really who pay you more than what you expect. So it balances the one who cannot pay, for example, with someone who can pay you more. And this is good when you have different streams of members, ones who are still working, because a lot of people lost their jobs.
Correct.
This is the thing. So that's why. So you have ones who are still working, they can afford and they keep you going, and you have the ones where we're in this together and just pay what you can or trade or so on. So from my community of teachers, we're all doing the same thing because we all follow each other and we're all talking and motivating each other to keep going. I guess there will be a lot of collaborations in the summer. Toronto now, we're in winter. It's super cold outside, so like it's tough, and cannot really collaborate in person because of the lockdown and all the procedures and so on. But we are working on a lot of collaborations in the summer so that we can get creative with our offerings and we can do different stuff. And the members, actually, what I have to say as well is that the members and the clients are very appreciative. Like the level of complaints before pandemic and after pandemic is a lot different and a lot less. I truly, at least in my experience. So this is something as well we have to mention because, yeah, the level of complaints have downsized a lot.
Yeah. I think it brought somehow the passion, a compassionate element in us, and we're able all to relate and see others from their perspective. I was talking to from a previous we have a discussion, and we said that people start more engaging and listening. That was not common earlier, to people to listen and engage, and this is a new factor that has brought when we are talking and discussing things, because on all the conversations nowadays are evolved around this and how to deal and overcome whatever kind of challenges we have in our daily life. So and you mentioned that you have projects going to happen in summer. So if I want to also ask a little bit further, if you can dive deep and give me some scoop or insights, what do you have for the coming future, for Malak Sharaf Movement, for the business, and what are your plans for the coming few months?
So, okay, let's start with the near future. So for the coming few months, it's all focused online because it's winter and the lockdown and all COVID. So I'm continuing with my weekly online offering, and I'm adding my new program, fitness program for women, the Level Up. And then comes the spring, like after Ramadan, after the holy month, because the holy month is a downtime for me. So after it, weather will be nicer. So I will start my like working for the boot camp, the park boot camp. That will be as well in the summer, and that's fine, women or men, it's okay. And as well collaborations on doing some hosting with the teachers so that we can talk and explain and share knowledge with the members. Another thing, I'm working on a second program that will be online as well, because I would like to keep the in-person and the online going together when possible. So for the online, it's 2 fitness programs. One is launching in January and one will be launching in spring summer, which will have more offerings. And it's all geared towards women health, strength, cardio, because as I mentioned, I'm in the late 30s. We women have to take care of our health. We have to keep moving. This is a must. And that's my focus, basically, in all my future plans and present. Yeah, so just focusing online and doing my park boot camp for the neighborhood.
So what I noticed, and also I read a little bit on your website, that one of the key practices that you believe in is mindful movement, conscious breathing, inward connection and building. And this is what define all your value proposition and what you bring to the people who come and join the yoga and the other training sessions that you are offering. Yes. So for Malak Sharaf Movement to continue, can you tell me 3 things that you need help with, or if you have more than that, can you share with us?
So the key like the key help, or mainly, is help to reach as much as possible clients. And as I told you, yes, I teamed with a marketing agency, but there is still the factors of bringing the clients and working together. So more exposure, that's what I need help with, and working on it. And like not reading, but like getting the correct, like I have issues pricing. That's the thing, to really cater to my client needs or what they can pay for. I have this thing, I want to help as many people as possible. Like I want women to move. Like I really just want you to move and take care of your health, because us women, we always put ourselves at the end. Like all good, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then leave myself at the end. So basically it's just like the exposure, reaching more women to get them to work with me and move. Other than that, honestly, working from home and doing the virtual stuff has been a very good thing. Thank you, COVID-19, for the push to do it.
Well, you are the first to thank COVID. I think who openly on the stream, and that's nice because you see the bright side of what happened to the experience and how it shaped us to grow and also adapt to changes that were in our reach, but maybe we were comfortable in our zone and to do the things that we were repetitive by habit. So me myself, I can see many people who are growing and also have building the courage to follow their dreams, because COVID have forced a reality that they were redundant or hesitant to take. And the moment that COVID gave them that, okay, so there's no more fear or block about our doubts. Let's go and do what we love.
Exactly, because COVID reminded us of something very important that we forgot. That really, like that, things can change like that. You can make all the plans in the world. I worked as a senior project manager, so everything was based on plans, and it never really stuck to the plan. So COVID just reminded us, who knows what will happen tomorrow? You can plan for years ahead. Or I had a trip planned last year. I didn't travel. I had the ticket, I had the hotel, I had everything, and at the end we didn't travel. So COVID, that's why I thank COVID. It reminded me to appreciate the small things, and it reminded me that just do it. Who knows what will happen tomorrow?
Correct. You know? Yeah. So by that, we would like to thank our guest, Malak. I've noticed that you're not only passionate about what you're doing, you enjoy teaching and empowering others to embrace themselves, accept themselves who they are, and blossom through this process and journey by the practices that the yoga and other exercises can bring, whether they are in a phase of maternity, or they are stressed from work, they are a single mom or a single parent or a husband or a father or a student. Regardless of the profile, we all need to relax and have some movement in our lives, so we can just channel all the energy that the day would bring to us. So thank you so much, Malak, again for joining and being a guest for the Lockdown Economy interview series. Everyone who's watching Malak and would like to join her online classes and participate in that movement, feel free to contact her. I've mentioned below in the YouTube all the details about how to contact her on her website, on Instagram, and other social media channels. If you have any queries, feel free to send her a message. So, and if you like this video and you'd like to see more content similar to this or different, just let us know. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, be supporter to us so we can bring you many more insights from many different countries and stories from many different business sectors. Have a look and stay tuned. Ciao. Bye bye, Malak.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.